It was supposed to be just another Halloween night, you know. Cheap costumes, candy runs, friends daring each other to visit creepy spots. But that year, everything felt off. I remember the air being colder than usual, the streets quieter. Even the decorations, plastic skeletons and flickering jack-o'-lanterns, looked wrong, like they were watching us. Me, my sister Kara, and my two friends. Jake and Olivia decided we'd check out this old farmhouse on the edge of town. People called it the Harper House, said it had been empty for decades after the family disappeared one Halloween night in 1983. Jake laughed it off. "It's all fake, bro. It's just a story to scare kids." We all believed him until we didn't. We parked our car near the dead cornfield. The moon was hidden behind clouds, and the only light came from our flashlights. The wooden gate creaked open like it was waiting for us. Inside, the grass was knee-high, and the house looked like it was collapsing in on itself. Windows shattered, door barely hanging on, but the weirdest part, there was still a glowing pumpkin on the porch. Freshly carved, Olivia whispered, "Who did that?" Jake smirked, "Probably someone else trying to scare us." We stepped inside, and that's when the smell hit. Rotten wood, damp air, and something else, sweet, metallic, almost like rust. The living room walls were covered in handprints. Small ones, children's hands, but they weren't painted. They were burned into the walls, and then, somewhere deep inside the house, we heard it. A laugh, high-pitched, childlike, echoing through the dark. Kara froze. "Tell me you heard that." Jake raised his flashlight, but the beam flickered. The laugh came again, closer this time, and then a whisper, "Trick or treat." The sound of that door slamming echoed through the entire house like someone had pushed it with all their strength. Jake spun around. Who the hell did that? But the door was gone, I swear. It was there when we walked in, but now it was just a wall. The old wooden frame had completely sealed shut. Kara's voice cracked. "It's not funny anymore. Open the door." Jake ran to the wall, pounding on it, but it didn't even sound like wood anymore. It was solid, like concrete. That's when Olivia's flashlight caught something above the fireplace. Photos, old black and white family portraits, maybe from the 1950s. There were 5 people, a father, a mother, and 3 kids, but their faces, someone had scratched them out. Not with a knife with fingernails. You could still see the grooves in the glass. I felt a chill crawl up my neck. Let's just find another way out. We moved deeper into the hallway. The wallpaper was peeling off, and underneath it were drawings. Children's drawings, crude stick figures, some playing, some trick-or-treating, but every picture ended the same way, with one figure lying on the ground, surrounded by red crayon. Olivia whispered, these were made by kids. Jake tried to laugh it off, but his voice trembled. Probably just some squatters trying to mess with people. Then the hallway lights flickered once, twice, and turned blood red. The drawings began to move, I swear to you. I watched the little stick figures twitch, their heads turned toward us, their crayon smiles stretching wider. And right as the light flickered again, I heard tiny footsteps running across the floor above us, fast. Then a door upstairs slammed shut. Kara clutched my arm. We're not alone. Jake exhaled shakily. All right, whoever's up there, come out. This isn't funny. But no one answered. Instead, a small voice echoed down the stairs. Don't be scared. It's just Halloween. And then something rolled down the steps. A pumpkin, not a plastic one, a real one. Its candle still burning inside, except the candle wasn't wax. It was a finger. The staircase groaned, one slow creak at a time. Our flashlights jittered over the railing, and there she was. A little girl, maybe 8 years old, wearing a tattered witch costume, one shoe missing. Her face was pale, her eyes wide and unblinking. She stood completely still at the top of the stairs, holding a bucket shaped like a jack-o'-lantern. Olivia whispered, "Sweetheart, are you okay?" The girl tilted her head slowly, too slowly, then she whispered, "You came back." Jake tried to step forward, but the boards beneath his feet snapped with a loud crack. The girl didn't even flinch. She just smiled, and then she was gone. No running, no sound, no movement, just gone. Kara screamed. Where did she go? We ran up the stairs, hearts pounding, flashlights shaking. The hall upstairs was long and narrow, lined with doors on both sides. Every single one was slightly open. And from behind them, whispers, children's laughter, not just one or two, a dozen. It was like the whole house was alive with voices, all saying the same thing in different tones, overlapping, trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat. Jake opened the nearest door. It was a child's bedroom. Toys scattered everywhere, a dusty bed, and a broken mirror hanging crookedly on the wall. The toys started to move on their own, tiny rocking horses creaking, dolls turning their heads, a music box playing a tune by itself. Then, in the mirror, we saw her again, the little witch girl standing behind us, smiling. But this time, there were others with her. Dozens of pale faces, eyes hollow, children frozen in that same chilling smile. Jake turned around, nothing there. He muttered, "No, no, 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 this isn't real." And then we heard footsteps downstairs, heavy adult footsteps. Kara's voice cracked. "Someone else is here." We leaned over the banister. The living room was dark, except for a faint orange glow flickering near the fireplace. A tall shadow stood there, holding something. It was wearing a pumpkin for a head. That thing stood perfectly still by the fireplace. Its pumpkin head flickered from within, the candlelight pulsing like a heartbeat. We couldn't move. No one breathed. Then the voice came, deep, raspy, but somehow hollow, like it was echoing through a mask. "Every year someone must return." Jake gripped the railing. "What the hell does that mean?" The figure took one step forward. The candlelight inside its head flared brighter, revealing something we hadn't noticed before. The pumpkin was carved into a twisted grin, and the inside wasn't hollow. It was filled with teeth. I felt my stomach drop. "That's not a mask," Kara screamed, and suddenly all the doors upstairs slammed shut at once. Bang, 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 the floor shook, the lights blew out. We were left in complete darkness except for that single orange glow below. Then from the shadows around us, dozens of small shapes emerged, the ghost children, silent now, circling us. Olivia sobbed, "What do you want from us?" One of the children looked up, their mouth sewn shut with black thread. Another held up a torn piece of paper, a newspaper clipping. It was dated October 31st, 1983. The headline read, "Local family found dead in mysterious Halloween fire, children missing." The photo beneath it showed the same family portraits we'd seen earlier, the Harpers, and the father had the same grin as the pumpkin-headed figure downstairs. Kara whispered, "He's the father." We heard movement again, slow, deliberate steps on the stairs. The pumpkin head was coming up. Each step made the candlelight glow brighter, and with it came the smell of smoke, burnt wood, and something else, burnt flesh. Jake shouted, "Go, find another way out." We bolted down the hall, pushing through one of the jammed doors. Inside was an old bathroom, mirror cracked, tiles blackened. But the reflection wasn't ours. It showed 4 people standing exactly where we were, except their skin was gray, their eyes white. And in the reflection, the pumpkin man was standing behind us. The mirror fogged over from nowhere, like something was breathing on the other side. Olivia screamed, get it open now." Jake slammed his shoulder into the bathroom door until it burst off the hinges. We stumbled back into the hallway, coughing as smoke poured down from the ceiling. Somewhere below, flames crackled. The house was burning. Kara covered her mouth. "We have to get out before—" She stopped mid-sentence. The children, they were standing at the end of the hall, all in a row, silent, watching, each holding their little pumpkin buckets. The glow from the fire made their faces flicker between innocent and monstrous. Then one of them stepped forward. A boy, maybe 10 years old, wearing a paper skeleton mask. He raised his hand and pointed at us, and the rest began to whisper again in one haunting voice, "Stay and play." The wallpaper peeled away from the walls, curling like burning paper. The whole hallway twisted, doors shifted. The floor began to breathe beneath our feet. We ran, tripping, pushing, shouting each other's names through the smoke. Every direction led to another room, another hallway, another dead end. Then Jake yelled, "This way," and kicked open a door that led into what looked like a children's playroom. Except the toys weren't toys anymore. They were bones, tiny skulls painted like jack-o'-lanterns, dolls with human teeth. A carousel horse made of rib cages. Kara gagged, stumbling backward. Oh my God, that's when the door behind us slammed shut. And the pumpkin-headed figure stepped through the fire, his candlelight glowing through the cracks of his skull. He was holding something, a charred family portrait. "Every Halloween," he growled, "new guests join the harvest." The children began chanting louder, circling us. "Join the harvest, join the harvest." Jake grabbed a chair and threw it at the window, but when it shattered, there was no outside. Just blackness, like the world had vanished. Olivia screamed as one of the children grabbed her wrist, its skin cold, papery. She yanked free, but its nails tore into her arm. I shouted, "Back, stay back," and swung the flashlight. It went right through them. The light passed clean through their bodies like they were smoke, and yet I could feel their hands clutching me. The pumpkin-headed man raised his hand, and all the children went silent. Then, in a deep, guttural whisper, he said, "Time to carve the next one." Olivia's scream cut through the smoke like a knife. We couldn't see her, just flashes of orange light, shadows flickering across the walls. Then we saw it, the pumpkin-headed thing crouched over her. Its hands were blackened bone, and it was carving something into her arm with one of its jagged nails. Jake charged at it, yelling, "Get off her," but it backhanded him like a rag doll. He slammed into the wall so hard the plaster cracked. Kara pulled Olivia away, blood running down her arm, her eyes glassy with shock. I turned toward the thing and shouted, "What do you want from us?" It tilted its head, that carved grin burning brighter, and in a voice that sounded like fire itself, it said, "You came to play, you stay." Then the entire floor gave way beneath us. We fell through into darkness, landing hard in what felt like a cellar. My flashlight spun across the dirt floor, landing on bones. Hundreds of them, tiny skulls, ribs, rusted Halloween buckets, and in the center, a circle of melted candles around a rotting sign that read, "The Harper Harvest Festival, October 31, 1983. That's when I realized it. The kids we'd seen were the Harper children, the father the pumpkin-headed thing. They'd all burned alive here 40 years ago, and every Halloween they recreate that night using whoever steps into their house. Jake coughed, barely conscious. We have to go. But the doorway was gone. The whole basement was closing in, the walls breathing, pulsing with firelight. Kara screamed as a skeletal hand burst through the dirt and grabbed her ankle. I pulled, kicked, fought, the air thick with ash and crying voices. Then everything went white. I woke up outside, cold grass under me, the Harper House smoldering behind us. Olivia was gone. The fire department said they found nothing inside, no bones, no people, just ashes. Weeks later, I found Jake sitting in his car at 3 a.m., staring at something in his hands. It was Olivia's jack-o'-lantern bucket. Inside was a photo, the Harper family smiling. Except this time, there were 4 new faces in the background. Ours. I don't go out on Halloween anymore. I don't hand out candy. And if you ever see a glowing pumpkin on a porch where no one lives, keep walking. Because some houses don't want visitors, they want replacements.